And that was my last trade of the day. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's do a little bit of a P&L reveal. And also first, hey guys, welcome back to the day trading recap. Today is Tuesday, December 28th. It wasn't really the best trading day. I thought we were going to get a little bit more kick in the market. I did 284 fills, so probably around like 20 trades or so. So let's go do the reveal. I think I'm up a little bit. I started the day red, like $500 on this freaking ridiculous ticker LVO. That was ridiculous. Anyway, I crawled myself back, and once I was like only down like negative $200, I hit my P&L, and I had some decent wins, mainly with RELI, but I never used that big size, and I never really got one of those big runs or breakouts on it. So I don't know, maybe I'm up like between 5 and 7%. Right now my average position size is around $7,000. I don't know, maybe like a $400 profit or so. So let's go ahead, do the reveal, and boom, there we go, $454 profit. Yeah, I was pretty close on that one. And really LVO was the big reason I'm not up around 1,000. I just gave back so many profits on it, and I just couldn't get green on this ticker. I tried several times and it just didn't work. With RELI, I feel like I could have milked it a little bit better for sure. And then ISIG, I actually got some pretty good trades on this one. I'm talking like 5-6% winners, but every time I only used, I think it was like 100 shares or something like that. So I was using like a tenth of the size that I should be, which is fine, because I think if I used bigger size, I would have instantly cut my losses on it, because it was just all over the place. And we'll talk about that in a second. So let's go here and talk about each ticker, starting with LVO. I'll pop it up here first, and then we'll go to the day trading charts, and we'll go back to my unlimited account, and then we'll just zoom in on this one. And wow, this ticker is on a backside if I've ever seen one. Very, very strong backside. Although high relative volume today, and it is breaking that 9 EMA, although we have that big resistance at $2. So keep that in mind, that $2 resistance. Entertainment company here, 80 million shares outstanding, 115 million market cap. I don't know, some catalyst popping up, but nothing really super interesting. So let's dive into the 5-minute a bit more and look at this one, and then whack. You could see how that $2 resistance was so strong on this ticker. We had a really, really quick 5-minute spike up here, about a 40% green candle. I started buying into this 5-minute candle, but a little bit too soon, and I actually ended up stopping out like somewhere in this area. And you'll see it really good on the 1-minute chart. Let's go to that, and let's zoop, and you'll see how I kind of fumbled on this one really hard. So I bought a little bit too soon, started accumulating to this candle. It ended up pulling back, another like 10% or so, and I took a loss there on that one right before it rallies back up. And I keep trying to somehow nail this one, but it was just acting a little bit weird, and I was constantly buying a little bit too high. And every time I did get a good entry, nothing really would happen. Like I bought this pullback here, but then there was no continuation. But if you look at the 5-minute, I think my mistake on it was I just was never really buying that close to the 9 EMA. Look at how it just trails that 9 EMA so nicely on the 5-minute. So if I was just constantly buying a little bit more on these kind of support areas, I think I would have done a lot better. Instead, popped up LVO. I'm like, okay, I see it, let's go. And there was no continuation, and I just instantly dug myself a hole in this one. And I never had that opportunity to dig myself out of the hole. Luckily, I didn't have any sort of, revenge trading on LVO after a certain point, which could have just dug me deeper and deeper in the red. BVXV, the next ticker I traded, you guys probably remember this one from a few days ago. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday last week before Christmas, and I'm up 159 on it. I only did one trade on it a bit after the market opened, and actually, let's see here. So yeah, this was Wednesday when I had this really, really nice pre-market front side. So yeah, that's where we milked that, and then we didn't trade it ever since. It did find some really, really good support around 2.5, and that's actually a zone we were talking about on that Thursday recap. So it perfectly pulled back to a zone that I was looking for. Of course, you guys know I'm not entering any more swing trades right now to hold overnight or anything like that, because my swings are fully allocated, and that's yeah, a little bit depressing. Let's see here. Multi-year collaboration with Google Catalyst. That's a really nice catalyst. Pharmaceutical company, 14 million shares outstanding and a 35 million market cap. So those are really nice statistics. I like to see that. It's a perfect small cap with a low amount of shares outstanding with a catalyst. So everything's looking good. Relative volume though today, a little bit lower than I would have wanted to see. And also it's a bit of an engulfing candle in terms of, you know, huge doji right here with big resistance at 3.5. I was always kind of worried about that, but we did break over this candle, so that's actually quite a good sign. It's not necessarily a real engulfing candle, but I don't like the fact that we're kind of stuck in this range from that former high there. So let's dive into the 5 minute a little bit more, zoom in on this one, and we'll see that this one had a really quick 110% rally here. But this was, you know, pre-market. This was before we can even trade. We were able to start trading around 7 o'clock. I wasn't really looking at this ticker so much, besides saying every now and then in the Discord, I think Colby was saying it as well, that, you know, anything around 3 or under 3 could be a really good buy. And that's because it had some really good support around $3, because we had that former resistance right here at 3. See all these failed attempts to break out? That's why $3 was such a key significant zone. Unfortunately, it never really held that area. And let's zoom in on the 1 minute. You can see I actually went for a red to green move on this ticker. It sold off here. It was crawling higher. I bought here looking for that breakout. We didn't get it, and I quickly sold here. It was a break-even trade. It was a scratch trade, really. It was just like I was out the second there was no continuation, because I was buying into a breakout on a backside ticker, very dangerous. So I was not looking to hold it more than one attempt. Eventually it crawls down here to like 171, 172, and you can see that on the 5 minute, this is a really significant support zone right here on the 180 SMA. So I ended up taking a stab here. We got a nice little pop, but then it had 2 failed attempts here, and eventually I just closed it. It did actually do the move I wanted. My original sell order was like at 279. So if I just held that, you know, we could have maybe doubled our profits on this one. But I just was kind of nervous it would keep selling off. So I don't really regret selling. But yeah, we probably could have walked away with like $300 profit or so. Now let's go to ISIG, which is actually still one of the lead gapper on the day right now. You can see it here. Let's pull this one up on the daily and zoom in on this ticker. So this one's been a multi-day runner. We've seen this one again and again on our lead scanners. We've traded it several times. Right now, it's popping up again after it found big support around $10, and it's kind of getting stuck again at this critical $20 zone, which if you zoom out and go way back, actually, let's just put on the weekly, you'll see that this $20 zone was a really significant area for quite some time. So we had a big sell-off. We had a retest here. We had a lot of attempts to break higher here. We had some continuation, another retest to breakout, pullback, retest. You could see this $20 zone is significant. Also, right in this area, you could see all these failed attempts to move over 20. So not just is 20 a psychological zone, but it's a proven support and resistance zone on this ticker. So if we zoom in again on the daily, you'll see that's really where this ticker has been stuck all day. It's a media company. 1.7 million shares outstanding. That's a very small amount. 34 million market cap, really nice and small, with some catalysts coming out as well. And you know what? I think I mistake that BVXV catalyst, because this is just a headline, and I don't think it was related to the company we were talking about, BVXV. So yeah, that headline was not right. I apologize for mixing up that catalyst, but there is catalyst on ISIG and BVXV. Just that Google collaboration was a different stock. I apologize for that. Again, I don't really care. It's not really something I'm focused on, so that's why I don't put too much emphasis on it during these videos. So let's go now to the 5 minute and see how we went ahead and traded this one. This ticker popped up quick. Nothing happened pre-market, then all of a sudden it was up 40%, and I was like, let's go, with keeping in mind that we had room to run till $20. So let's go to the daily chart or the intraday 1 minute and zoom in a little bit more on how I traded this one. Instantly I was buying this pullback, but I was a little bit weary because we had that big loser right in the beginning on LVO, which had a similar thing. We had the quick pop up, and I just started buying it too soon. So that's why I think I only did 200 shares here. Very small size, but I still made 60 cents a share on this one times 200 shares. So that was like $120 profit. Not really that bad. And I do a little bit of a trade here looking for continuation, and this trade was actually really nice. I just didn't hold it because I don't like holding into the open, but the 5 minute was perfect. I was like, I don't want to sell right now, but I do not want to get stuck in that open cross where sometimes your orders, especially on TOS, which is not a direct routing platform, will have a lot of issues and you'll be stuck in a trade. You can't close. So if something did happen, I would have been screwed. And that's why I didn't want to hold ISIG into the open, which, you know, part of me regrets, but at the same time, like, trust me, it is horrible when you get stuck in a trade on TD Ameritrade and then you're spending the next hours on support and you're just ruining your day, and it's a miserable experience. So that's why I don't trade that open on TD Ameritrade. So ISIG opens up here. It did sell off a little bit. I was about to buy into this sell-off, but I missed my fill, and then it just rips up 11%, gets halted, and I'm like, no, that was the move of the day that I wanted. Anyway, opens up here, and then I buy into this open looking for continuation. We actually did get some, and this was actually a pretty good trade. Actually, I bought a little high here, way higher than I thought I did. Yeah, okay, it wasn't actually a good trade at all, but 100 shares, so, you know, very small win. I bought this pullback, 100 shares again. This was a better trade. But, you know, at this point, I'm using small share size. So even if we have a, you know, 10% winner, I'm not even really making more than like $100 or so. So it's not like, you know, hoorah, like that was amazing. So I'm kind of playing around a little bit here, trying to just get my bearings, just seeing if I could keep trading this ticker and do okay, because I'd rather trade it with small size than not trade it at all, because that just gives me FOMO and puts me in a bad mental state. So that's why I kept trading it. Yeah, look at this consolidation ever since. This would have been such a hard ticker to keep trading at this point, so happy I walked away when I did. Maybe we're going to see some good continuation on ISIG. I don't know. I mean, we've seen this one many days in a row. I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up one morning and it was chilling around 25 or 30 or $35. I would be maybe a little bit nervous, you know, buying it right now, but let's say if it pulls back to like some good support around $18 or so, I could see, you know, this being a really, really nice play. And you could see we almost pulled back to $18. So buying on those key support zones seems to be the way to go with ISIG. I was clicking on all sorts of wrong buttons just now. It's kind of annoying. All right, final ticker here, RELI. This was the ticker that brought home the bacon today. It is our second lead gapper on the day, and let's zoom into this one a little bit more, starting with the daily like always. Multi-day runner, we've been seeing this ticker several times in the past, but big resistance at $7 and $8. That was kind of the tough spot for this ticker, and that's areas I was really, really cautious around, and I wish I was more cautious around, because at one point I actually gave back profits around I think it was like $8 pre-market or so. Anyway, what I do like about this ticker is the statistics. So insurance company, 10 or 11 million shares outstanding and a 67 million market cap after this big rally. So the statistics on this company are really good because it's a smaller cap and it has that explosive potential, and that's really what I'm looking for. And if we go to the 5-minute, you'll see the amount of volume this ticker had wasn't as much as before on the previous spike day, but it was really, really nice on like an average $6.5 ticker. It was really good, but you can see right around $8 or on the way to $8, it was having a lot of problems, and I thought we were going to break over 7.5 and at least run this last little stretch to $8, and this is where I lost quite a bit here buying into this breakout. So that was a little bit silly, but overall I think RELI, I think I did all right. Let's go to the 1 minute and zoom into these trades just a little bit more so you guys can see what I did. And ooh, I gotta say, this ticker's coming to some really good support now. This could be a great buy around $6, maybe a small break of $6. So pre-market opens up on TOS at 7 a.m. and nothing really happens for a while besides LVO and me just losing money on it. But eventually RELI pops up and I get pretty excited. Not so much initially, because initially it didn't have so much volume. Yeah, like 100 shares here, which is like 200,000 shares, you know, being traded if it's like a $3 or $4 stock, which is oftentimes where we're trading. So it's like decent volume at this point, but it's not like anything super interesting. I try a little bit of trades here looking for continuation, but we don't really get it. Eventually we break back above VWAP, and this is where it gets exciting, because here the volume really starts spiking, because now we're dealing with like 200,000 shares on a $7 or $6.50 stock, and this is like pretty good volume at this point. There's a flag pattern here, and I do all right. I make some scalp profits here. Unfortunately, look at this last exit. I sell a massive amount of shares right here at 465, right before the 8% pop. That could have changed my whole day if I just held for like 20 more seconds. But I gave this ticker so many attempts, and at this point I was just like, man, this ticker's gonna flush or something. Luckily, I don't, have any sort of hate towards RELI, the fact that I missed this, so I just buy right back into this green candle, and I start trading this move to the upside and make a pretty decent chunk on that. Not nearly as much as I would have made if I just held it, but still. Second attempt here, kind of similar situation where I buy into this green breakout, look for continuation, but there was none. That was always really annoying. The one time we got continuation was right here, and that was the one time I didn't trade for continuation, so that was kind of hectic. And then boom, we get another green candle breakout. I buy into this candle. Unfortunately, this one flushes right away, and I give back some profits on that. But overall, I'm still milking RELI. And one of my rules is once I start giving back profits on a ticker, I usually end up walking away. And look at that. I ended up walking away on RELI on that move, and ever since then, it's been a downwards trending stock, looking ugly, and just, I think, pretty tough to trade. And a lot of these failed breakouts and then flushes right afterwards. Like, failed breakout, flush, failed breakout, flush, failed breakout, flush. Like, oof, you can lose so much money on that kind of stuff and just give back so much profit. So when I look at something like that, I stay clear. I mean, look at this one. What is that? That's like a 6% move right there. I mean, that will ruin your day alone. So RELI, not really that interesting, but I gotta say, right now it's getting interesting again because risk reward on this ticker is getting way nicer. Around this 180-day SMA, and if you go to the daily, I do like the fact that we got good support in this area. Maybe even closer to like 5.5 would be a little bit nicer, but we'll see what happens. I did mark this 6 zone because if we come to like, I think it's like the 4 hour, you can kind of see that 6 we had some closes, we had some opens, some retests. So I really like this $6 zone. I didn't find it like a significant long-term zone. That's why I only did this little line here, but I did want to go ahead and mark that just as a quick little reference area. Ooh, yeah, this one's just selling off. And as a quick reminder, if you guys do want to learn more about my trading strategy, check out tradejournal.co/connect. 3 steps to help you quickly get started. The link is also right in the video description below and pinned in this video somewhere. I'll see you guys then first thing tomorrow morning for another day trading recap. We have a pesky penguin staking video coming out, so stay tuned for that one. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. Consider subscribing if you're new. We'd love to have you part of the community. And like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.